Hello everybody and welcome back. It is yet another Dephemerember prompt, and today we're working on prompt 18 and it's forgotten snacks. And I reckon we're just about halfway through the challenge, so to celebrate I've turned my big sheet of packing paper here over, so we've got a bit of a cleaner space to work on today. Alright, forgotten snacks. This was another one that I'm not quite sure how to interpret. So, and this is it's Thursday, so it's a throwback Thursday. So I had a look back at both Louisa and Barbara's videos and a couple of others as well. Lee from Lee Creates, and there was another couple that I can't remember, sorry. Anyway, had a look back at what other people have done in the past to get some ideas. And what came to me was this, and these are the lovely chocolates that my swap partner Gajana at Diary of a Creative Therapist gave me this year. And these are really nice. They are orange chocolate, and I've been really enjoying these as I've been crafting along. And it took me a little while to realise what they reminded me of. And as probably some of you know, I grew up in England, although I now live in New Zealand. And every year in England at Christmas time, we used to get Terry's chocolate orange. And that's what these remind me of. And these were a real treat that we had at Christmas. And it comes in like an orange wrapper, and it's the size of an orange. And when you unwrap it, it breaks into segments just like an orange would. And in the last couple of years, we have found these here in New Zealand. You can see they're imported and distributed by a company up in Auckland. And this, I think, must have been from last Christmas, because it's the only time I buy them. And I went through my box of packaging recently, and I cut everything up and flat packed it because it was just getting out of hand. It was going everywhere. And so anyway, I've had a rummage through that box today, and this is the these are all the bits from the Terry's chocolate orange. So these are my forgotten snacks. Oh my goodness, can you hear that rain? We have had about 2 weeks of blisteringly hot weather, and now we have torrential rain. I'm not complaining because the garden needs it, but it does sound really loud on my roof, so I'm really sorry. And it's just started, just as I've come up to video. Anyway, such is life. I'm sure we'll get over it. So these are my bits. So they're already cut, because that's how I'd cut them, to flat pack them for some reason. So I'm going to do something with these. Now this one, I think it has this little half circle cut out already. And so this, I think, is going to lend itself to perhaps being a pocket, or I'm wondering about putting a back on it, so that it's like a floating pocket, something like that. This one I want to leave together, and I'm going to stick some pictures behind these little windows, and I may turn it into maybe a little notebook cover. I really quite like putting little notebooks into journals, so I think that's going to be a go for that one. And I think I'll cut a back for this one, as I say, and turn it into maybe a floating pocket, and then I'll see if I use these two or not. But what I'm going to do to start with, I'll grab my bit of acetate here. I am going to collage onto these just to make a background and cover what's on there. Or am I? Do I want to leave the packaging? No, I think I'm going to cover it with it. But I'm kind of on the fence at the moment. I really want all my ephemera that I make during this challenge to be vintage and to kind of go in together. I think I probably am. I'm going to make a decision. There you go. I'm going to collage this to start with I've got some scraps here of book pages and coffee dyed paper. I'm going to use up these scraps, and I'm going to, oh look, that might form a nice background, mightn't it, with a picture in there. Oh, there's a bit of a plan coming together. All right, we'll keep that bit. I'm going to collage the front with some of these, and then we'll see what I do next. I'll have a think while I'm collaging. All right, let's stop talking and get on with it. Oh, the other thing I have that I'm hoping to use today, I've got two things. These are some wrappers, which also came in my box from Gajana at Diary of the Creative Therapist. So there's some lovely shiny bits there, and also in my box was this nice piece of vellum, and I did wonder whether that might go behind some of my windows. We'll see. I'm not sure about that. I might save it for something else. Let's make a start and stop rabbiting. All right, these guys are all nice and dry, and as you can see, I've cut around the edges and I've just stuck over around those apertures. Now, these two, I'm just going to knock back with just a little bit of gesso on them. And these two, I'm thinking that I'm going to stamp some script on them and then use a bit of spray stain, because what I found, as I was collaging, I was thinking, oh, I want to honour the fact that this was a chocolate orange, and I've had a hunt around, and in my pile of stuff I've got this. I don't know where this came from. In fact, I think it came in a swap that I did with someone, and as you can see, I've used one of the images. But I'm thinking I might do something with this so that I'm actually honouring the fact that this was a chocolate orange. And I've also got this one, which I found online as a free printable, and I quite like this kind of watercolory effect, so I might fussy cut out some of these. So with those colours in mind and thinking about my overall vintage theme, I'm going to knock those back with a bit of gesso, do something interesting with these. Right, so I completely forgot to press record there, but never mind. All I've done is given these a really a very light coat of gesso, and then I've sort of taken it back a little bit, and that's just to soften the edges. These two, as you can see, I've used my good old faithful script stamp on, and I've also tried it on the vellum here as well. I don't know whether I'm going to use this today, but I thought whilst I was you know, in the spirit of compartmental making, I'm sure that if I don't use it today, it will go in my journal somewhere. Right, I've pulled out I've got some Glimmer Mist by Tattered Angels, and I've got a Perfect Pearls, which is a Ranger one, and I haven't got an orange in my sprays, but I thought that this bronzy coloured one, what is it? Yes, it is bronze, would sort of work well with some of these colours, if that's what I'm aiming for. This, I've got a tiny little bit of this left. This is a yellow, and I've got this gorgeous key lime green, which you've seen me, key lime pie green, which you've seen me use before. And I'm actually just going to use some of this on all of these pieces, and then I'm going to see where it takes me. And I'm going to try it on the vellum as well. I don't know whether these will work on the vellum, but you know, it's all about trying things. I'm going to put things together like this, so that I can spray quite randomly all of them at once. Okay, so I got interrupted earlier, so these are well and truly dry now because it's a bit later on in the day. But what I also have done, whilst I was waiting for these to dry, I've actually inked the edges of these two and cut a notch in this one as well. And the other things I've done is I've cut a piece of double-sided scrapbook paper, which is the same size as this, and I have turned some of that lovely that printable, the oranges and lemons here, turned it into a couple of little journaling cards and inked the edges of those as well. Now my idea is that I'm going to layer these together like this, and so in effect this will become like a floating pocket with this journaling card in here and this one in here. Now, before I put those cards in, I'm actually going to stitch this all together to hold it. I'm going to go around the edge with the sewing machine and hold all of that together. So I'll do that in a moment. Oh, and once I've done that, I'm going to decorate the front and the back. I have cut out, I fussy cut some of these, the bits off. Oh, which one was it off? Hang on. No, not that one. One of the printables, let me get this one. So I fussy cut some of these out, and I'm going to use those to decorate it. I might add some other bits in as well. I'm wanting it to be a little bit more vintagey than it is at the moment, but we'll see how we can make that happen. All right, these bits, as you can see, the vellum stamped well, but has curled up a bit with the wet Glimmer Mist inks, but that's okay. I still think it's usable, and I am wondering about using it to kind of go behind here with a picture in here, maybe even one of these oranges. We might do that because I'm definitely going to turn this into a notebook. So what I'm going to do is rummage in my paper scraps, and I'm going to cut pieces of paper the same size as this, and then I'm going to stitch them in just like you would a mini journal, and then this can go in a pocket in my journal. But again, obviously this needs some decoration, and this bit I'm not sure. I may add this to my stash and use that in another project. So I'm going to put that to the side for now, and I'm going to work on these two. I'm going to attach the vellum and things on here first, because I may well decide to take this to the sewing machine as well. Right. All right, folks, so I've stitched that one together. I'm just going to run my ink pad just down the sides like that, just to finish off those last edges. All right, so I also stitched around the journal cards just to add a little bit of something else. Oh, let's take that thread off. There we go. I've left the sewing threads for now. Sometimes they irritate me. Sometimes they're okay. All right, so this journaling card pops in this side. This one pops in this side. It's not going in as far as it would. No, that's okay. And in effect there we've got a little floating pocket with some journaling cards in. Now, as I say, I'm going to add some decoration to this. I'm also going to, I've stitched around this. I also went around the apertures, and I'm going to cut some pages next to go in here. Now, the beauty of this vellum is that it's actually lined the inside of the little booklet cover as well. So I'll cut some pages. I'm still thinking, and I'm just going to pull from my scraps here. I don't mind if the pages are not all uniform in shape and size. Let's cut a bit of a template from this one. Alright, now that also needs to be a bit smaller. So that it sits inside when we fold it. Might be even a little bit more again. Do you know what? I think this piece of paper, there's 2 bits of paper here. Oh, there is a toe, look at that. Well, there we go, there's the first 2 pages. Right. So that size is going to be about right. I might just take a scrap more off this side. There we go. So we know that we don't want our paper to be any bigger than that. And if it's smaller, that's fine. mix them up a bit. Maybe a couple more. Let's pop a green one in just for a bit of contrast, and it will pick up. Mind you, I wonder if I've got some lime green. Let's just for a really quick look. I know you can't necessarily write on one side of that, but the other side is white. I'll straighten that edge up in a minute. Alright, so we've just got, what have we got, 8-10 pages there. That's great. Okay, I'm going to trim it just slightly. Or shall I? Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to leave that. Right. Right, as you saw, really simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch. If you're new to pamphlet stitch, if you have a look at my channel there and search 3-hole pamphlet stitch, there is a video there. There's loads of videos on YouTube demonstrating how to do it. It's really commonly used putting journals together, but it's also great just for little notebooks like this. As I say, I have a bit of a thing for notebooks like this, and I love them in my journals. I love to be able to tuck one in. It's just like hidden space really in your journal. Now I'm actually going to just trim that down a little bit because I want to just tuck it under the edge there, and I want to just see a little bit of that vellum behind. So I'm actually just going to take a little bit more. There we go. So as I say, these oranges are paying homage to the fact that my forgotten snacks is the Terry's chocolate orange, which is incredibly nostalgic, particularly around Christmas time. I didn't grow up in a household where we had a lot of you know, lollies or sweets all the time, and Christmas was a time when we did have things like the chocolate oranges sometimes. They're one of my mum's favourites actually. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm stitching overrun just a little bit here. It's getting a bit late in the evening now. Those of you who saw my video yesterday, you will know that we have one of our grandchildren with us this week. And yeah, things get a little busy. And it wasn't even yesterday, was it? It was the day before, because yesterday was a rest day. There we go. That's how much it throws me. Right, I'm going to leave the back like that. I'm going to do something similar here on the front, but I'm wanting to incorporate, I think, a bit of this lace as well that I've put on the journaling cards. I really want this to still have a bit of a vintagey feel. I'm not quite sure how to achieve that just yet. I think that's something that might work. Now I wonder, I'm going to be really lazy here. I should get a little needle and thread and gather this piece of lace, and I'm going to try and do it instead with this silicone glue, which is a bit too much there, which is very cotton bud is very sticky. Let's put that away safely, right? But it might help me do a little bit of a fake gather with this lace. Do you know what, I think that might work. Right, a little bit more. I have inked the edges of these when I cut them out. I'll just put a little bit more on the edge of this one because I want it to really stand out from the background there. I might need a little sentiment or something down here. But you know what, I'm actually in the spirit of compartmental making. I'm going to run my ink around the edge of this little notebook, and I'm not going to do any more to it today. I'm going to wait until this goes into my journal, and then I can add to it, perhaps with something that ties it in with the page it's going on. And I'm going to be making 2 journals with the ephemera we create this month. I'm going to be doing one to keep and one to gift to someone, and I'm going to be doing that in January, so I will be filming, probably not all, but I'll be filming creation of some pages, and I'll certainly do a flip through when I've finished, and I'll link it in with the Dephemerember hashtag as well. But I think it'd be quite interesting to see how we fit some of these things into journals. Right, yeah, I thought I had another, I've got another little scrap of lace there. How can I use that? Do you know what, guys? It is getting quite late in the evening now, and this video needs to go up tomorrow morning. So I think that's as far as my compartmental making is going to go this evening. But actually, I really quite like these. So this started off, if you remember, with these lovely orange crisp chocolates that my lovely swap partner Gajana at Diary of a Creative Therapist sent. And they reminded me of a forgotten snack, if you like, or a forgotten treat, which was the Terry's Chocolate Orange. And these pieces are all made from the Terry's Chocolate Orange box with the original apertures in them. So this is our spare bit. I'm going to keep this, and I'm sure that at some stage this will get turned into something else for our journal. We've got a floating pocket here with 2 journaling cards which have the oranges on as a big nod to the orange chocolate. And here, what now looks like a little ticket is the maker's little tag that was on the top of this box. And this one, we have a little notebook made from some scraps to tuck into a pocket. And again, we have the nod to the orange chocolate. So I hope that's been fun to watch. It's been a little bit of a slog today, what with one thing and another and lots of interruptions, but hey, that's life, isn't it? But I love these. I've enjoyed creating them, and I will be back tomorrow when our prompt is flip out and pressed flowers gone wild. Right. There's a challenge. Okay, I'm done for today, folks. I hope it's been fun. Thank you so much for joining me. See you tomorrow. Ka kite anō.